and then right, and then
ready. Play.
hello, and for all you people who have just watched the Rublev GR match, you'll be getting sick of the sight of myself. But yeah, doing a double shift tonight at the French Open, on day one of the French Open. And this stream is Danielle Collins, Jessica Pegula, and we have a newcomer, Jakob. Jakob, do you want to introduce yourself to all those watching and listening?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm Jakub. I've been writing about tennis for about 8 years now. I do a podcast about challengers with Damian, who you see on here all the time, I bet. So yeah, just really excited to get in here, talk some women's tennis. So excited for this matchup, Collins Pegula. Some may not rate it. How do you view it going into it?
I might be falling in the some category. Yeah, like I just think on paper, it certainly looks like you're looking at a fairly comfortable Jessica Pegula Jessica Pegula win. And I will have to say right now that I've got my one and only prediction on this French Open stream correct so far. I said it was going to be Rublev in 4. And that's the way it went. So I'm gonna hang my hat to make it 2 in a row for me and say Pegula in straight sets. But with Danielle Collins, and I said this in the last stream, you just don't know what you're going to get. You could get an all-round power performance, or you could get somebody who gets pretty fed up on themselves fairly quickly, and just kind of throws the towel in mentally quite early on. So for anyone who may not recognise Jakob, very, very knowledgeable guy. Him and Damien, their tennis knowledge is pretty much second to none, and you may recognise his voice. If anyone watching or listening wants to basically give us a shout, drop us a line, you can see along the ticker that give us a follow, get subscribing to the Talking Tennis stream. As I mentioned earlier on, big things hopefully coming in the next wee while for Talking Tennis, content at events. But Danielle Collins has started off a little bit slowly, and she's lost the first 2 points. Yeah. So
yeah,
where do you think?
So for me,
sorry, go on.
Collins
That's what I was going to
yeah, sorry. For me, Collins is like a big match player, so I do expect her to show up. Maybe some of the rust comes in early on, so I think we'll see sort of like a quick first set for Pegula. Collins pulling it back. Pegula in 3 is my prediction for this, with the benefit of the first 2 points.
Okay, I like that. I like that. It's very specific. No, I like you. Have you managed to watch much of the day one of the French Open? What have you managed to catch?
Yeah, so I didn't see too much stuff early on. I've been moving today, so I missed Sabalenka Kostyuk, but I feel like I've seen most of the other main things as they've happened. Yeah, I just finished watching Errani beat Jill Teichmann in a very exciting match. For me personally, exciting. I don't know about everybody else out there, but I do enjoy watching some vintage Sara Errani. The crowd was amazing. Teichmann sort of broke down a bit physically, had to take an MTO towards the end. But sort of what I expected. I think, right somewhere that Errani was going to ground Teichmann down in this match.
Brilliant, yeah, good. So we're both absolutely flying with our predictions so far.
Unstoppable.
Yeah, well, one of us is going to be wrong here in terms of the set count, because I've got Pegula in 2, and Pegula just dropped a lovely drop shot to set up 2 break points in the very first Collins service game as Danielle Collins loads up, serves into it. Pegula can only find the net, and she saves the first one. The crowds, there's not a lot of people. I think with the moving, and it's quite a late afternoon day session. Do you think the crowd, Jakob, they can have any bearing on this with 2 Americans being there?
Well, the crowd doesn't really look super full at the moment, so I don't know how alive it's going to be. But I think as it fills up, and if the match gains some drama into it, and we of course know that the French crowds love to get involved in all sorts of drama whenever it is available to them. So I think that especially with Collins, who is such an not emotional but very emotive player, like she really just puts it all out there. She really lets you know how she feels on that court.
Yeah.
That mixing with the French crowd, if it is a contentious match, I think we could be in for a treat. But at the moment, it looks a little bit dead in there.
Yeah, well, no, here's hope so, and I think that's the endearing quality of Danielle Collins, isn't it? Like the fact that she does wear her heart on her sleeve, and you know that you're watching a Danielle Collins match because you're going to get all sorts of emotions, a wide range of them. As she managed to save her second break point with a drive volley, and we're currently at deuce. I'd mentioned earlier on the matches that I caught. I'd managed to catch a bit of Tsitsipas when he was in set 4. Same with Karen Khachanov when he was 2 sets.
Great performance from Vesely, by the way, in that Tsitsipas match. I was not expecting him to come out that way.
Yeah. What is he, something like 400 in the world or something, 435 or something in the world?
Yeah, I mean, like he's recovering from injury. Basically, only came back at the beginning of clay season. But he can still definitely be a factor for sure on grass. But for me, he is such a superior, faster court player at this point in his career, at least, that I was very pleasantly surprised to see him push Tsitsipas, having set points to send it to 5. I mean, that was a great performance from Vesely.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure he can take heart from him. I'm sure right now he'll be disappointed, obviously, not being in the second round draw, but yeah, he can certainly take heart from that and hopefully have a decent rest of the year. Jakob, I think you've already got a fan. You must have done something good at the draw. But we have Sports and Politics saying nice to have you back. And
thank you very much. So happy to be back.
Yeah. So in terms of let's maybe we'll concentrate on the WTA side of things then. Is it just a split race between Swiatek and Sabalenka, or do you fancy you've got any dark horse, or what are you thinking?
So my pick for the title did actually end up being Elena Rybakina.
Right.
But to be fair, my draw went a lot of different directions, a lot of different ways. I had her beating Ostapenko in the final. Pegula reaching the semifinals because of that Sakari section and stuff. So I think my draw went a bit all over the place. I don't know how common that is for people to be picking a Rybakina Ostapenko final, but that's what I ended up with. Who do you see as the favorites?
I mean, I think it's very hard to see past Iga Swiatek, considering she's a 2-time winner here. But strangely, when I asked that question, Rybakina's name had went out my head. So when you said that, I was thinking, great shout. I think she could certainly. I know there's been questions over her with clay in the past, but she kind of proved the doubters wrong in Rome. So yeah, I think she's definitely now in the mix in terms of being one of the players that should certainly have a say in where it goes. Sabalenka, what would you think? Are the conditions maybe a little too slow for her? What's your thoughts?
I just sort of want to see her do it first, and I think that she has now a very nice draw to get through to the third round, and I think even into the fourth round it's pretty decent. I had Ostapenko taking her out, which might be a bit controversial. Sabalenka has won the previous 2 matches, but I think Ostapenko on clay and having already had that experience in Paris of going deep, unlike Sabalenka, I think that could play into it in that matchup.
Yeah. I mean, I think I quite fancied Ostapenko in terms of maybe doing something here again until I saw the Rybakina match, and she just didn't really get much of a look in for me, and I thought that if they two were ever to come up, I think it's going to be a similar story. So that's why I couldn't really kind of nod for Ostapenko. Back to the match just quickly. Some quite powerful ground strokes as expected between the pair. A fine exchange cross court, but Pegula did break the Danielle Collins serve, and she leads 1-1 with the ball in her hand at 15 all. As Collins goes
wild
wide.
Swing.
Yeah.
Wild swing
again,
on that one.
Could this be a little bit of frustration already? Yeah, that's what you fear. with Danielle Collins. In terms of the men, obviously very interesting now. No Nadal, Djokovic, we're unsure of if he's managed to hit that peak that he always plans for at Grand Slams. You've got Alcaraz losing it quite early in Rome. Holger Rune emerging, but Medvedev finding clay. I mean, so many stories on the men's side as well. Have you got any thoughts on that then, Jakob?
Yeah, I mean, you sort of have to, I think, mostly pick out of Alcaraz or Djokovic. I think whoever wins that likely semifinal will probably go on to win the final. Yeah, I ended up going with Djokovic just because I liked the road a little bit more for him. But really there's not much between them for me.
Yeah, I mean, I put my my prediction and my expertise very much up for debate. I've actually went for Medvedev in terms of I just think he's been pretty relentless since the early Australian Open exit. I wrote about him just after that loss in Melbourne about, is he going to basically become one of these kind of run-of-the-mill nearly men? Has his one Grand Slam? I just didn't know where his career was going, but boy, has he turned that around and proved me wrong in terms of the last few months. It's like I say, the only word could be relentless. Final. Win, win. He's just been really impressive, and I think Rome last week. That Holger Rune is meant to be the emerging guy, who's the guy on clay who's going to basically be Alcaraz's rival kind of thing. And I thought it was just a really professional job in that final. Took the first set, by the one break, by the odd break, and then when he was a breakdown in the second, just worked it out, just figured out how to get myself back in there. And I think it's all about staying power, isn't it? In terms of Paris. So I've got a wee fancy for Danielle, and I also quite like his on court antics when he can get up to. I mean, I was howling when he was playing Zverev and he's just knocking bats to the net down and stuff like that. He's some guy.
Yeah, just quickly on the match, we had a sequence of Collins hitting a lovely return winner and then missing the next return to lose that second game. Now back on serve, 15 love up. But on Medvedev, I'm really curious about that first round matchup with Seyboth-Wild. Seyboth-Wild is a very powerful player,
right?
Out of qualifying, so I'm sort of interested in, could he potentially hit through Medvedev? I think it's unlikely, but I think it's definitely an interesting challenge. So probably a first round match to watch. Yeah,
no, I'll certainly be keeping an eye out for that one. And again, we had a guy, Ghost, who I'm sure you might meet, is a guy who contributes in the comments in the chat. He had Rublev all the way to the final, but I'd mentioned Medvedev. So it was good debate. We were having good chat.
Is Djokovic breaking a leg or something?
I don't know. He doesn't seem to be. He doesn't seem to be in the conversation. We had a contributor, Max, who basically believes that Holger Rune beat Djokovic. And I mentioned, it's a different ball game in terms of, he peaks for slams, he knows Roland Garros, and it's a 5-setter now. It's not just a 3-setter.
Rune for me has some maybe early matches that could go quite long. I think his match against Baez could be very interesting in the second round. I think that could turn into a real grind fest. And that's something that you don't want to see for Holger Rune, who, at the beginning of his career really struggled with cramping and stuff like that in longer matches. And I don't think that's all the way gone. Yeah. So I think by the time he gets to that's why I could sort of see Casper Ruud actually beating him in their quarterfinal if they meet. Yeah. Which I think is a pretty interesting matchup there.
Well, I thought just, Casper Ruud looked so good for the first set and a half against Holger Rune in the semi-finals of Rome, and then somehow just forgot how to play tennis, and I don't know what happened there. But I mean, so again, I was watching this morning Eurosport where I am. It was a recap of 2022. I was watching part of their a quarterfinal last year, and I think Ruud won it in 4, but he looked pretty comfortable. So I think I would have to agree with you. I think I think Ruud could be the better player in that one, as we are at 40-30 on the Collins serve. Collins is certainly starting to kind of settle now, isn't she? And she's found a couple of winners.
Yeah, it's sort of hit or miss with her with the baseline she's trying to dictate. Once again, she had a sequence of hitting a very beautiful winner and then just a really poor unforced error. So we'll see where she goes with this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pegula really should, I think, control this first set, and we'll see if Collins can sort of find her groove as it goes on. Oh, beautiful backhand down the line winner.
Yeah,
Take it to deuce from Pegula. Wow.
You know, out of nowhere, and so it was a second serve. Danielle Collins, Pegula stepped in perfectly, timed it nicely, and just drove a backhand winner down to the line, and it found the corner for Deuce. We are back at Deuce. You know, I was doing a wee bit of research before the match, Jakob, and Pegula currently holds a 4-0, winning record over Danielle Collins. The most recent being at Miami in 2023. But they have played on clay before in Charlottesville. Again, it was straight sets for Pegula, and I kind of think that's why I was leaning that way because of the surface. We've always got to take that into consideration as Collins.
Yeah. Charlottesville though would be green clay, I assume. Though.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
That plays a lot different. Like green clay. I played on green clay for about a year when I lived in Florida.
Right.
And sort of movement wise, it is quite like red clay where you have to slide and all of that. But it is a lot faster. The bounces don't go as high, nowhere near as clay court. So green clay, I mostly discount as like a.
See it more as a hard court.
Yeah, I mean, like it's really neither. Like it is very much its own specific thing. So that's why I don't really like taking it into consideration with red clay matches.
Is that what the whole Tsitsipas Taylor Fritz disagreement then would have been? When what was it, a unicorn on a skateboard? Is that what he said?
Unicorn on a skateboard. I don't remember that quote. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think if it was maybe Madrid or maybe even Monte Carlo, and it might have been Barcelona actually. And basically, Tsitsipas is wrote with the camera after a win that American clay is like a unicorn on a skateboard, and then I think Fritz beat him the next day. And then he wrote something about like the clay or something like that. So yeah, all banter as Collins still struggles to hold on to her game with
ace on the advantage.
And I say struggle, and she proves me wrong. She gets on the scoreboard. It's 1-2. Pegula leads 2-1 as the players sit down. So what are you looking forward there? What are you looking forward to? Anything tomorrow? Then what particular match are you got your eye on then, Jakob?
I haven't properly looked at the schedule yet. Of course, I have a couple of Slovaks playing with quite slim chances, in my opinion. We have Kristina Kuchova in with a special ranking. She's not really been able to string many wins together. She sort of went down to like the Bundesliga level. And like she took a set of Noskova there, but most recently she lost to Korpat in straight sets. She has Bolsova, who was like she is a very solid clay court. She lost to Židanšek in qualifying, so I think Bolsova will beat her. Then I have Šmídlová playing Kudermetova. I think that's a tough ask for Šmídlová at this point. But yeah, which matchups are you sort of looking forward to most? Which are the big ones?
Good question. I think what I was looking for, I'm just going to try and pull up in the schedule. What I'd actually noticed on Twitter earlier was somebody saying that the schedule was pretty horrid. I think it would obviously the big ones, the big names like Djokovic, Alcaraz. It's always key to see how these guys are doing. I think now that you've mentioned Medvedev and his first round match. In fact, that's Tuesday, I think it is. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that. But it's just there's a general buzz, isn't there, about a Grand Slam when it's day one and day two. There's a different feel about these events. There's a grandeur about the events, and so I think that's just the kind of buzz. We were discussing that earlier on as well. Like, what's your favourite day in a Grand Slam? We're talking about is it day one, day two? What do you think?
That's tough. I think my favorite Grand Slam day is usually it is either like round 3, round 4 where I really start to enjoy the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Like I think the first couple of days can be hit or miss. You can get some unbelievable stuff in there, but I think you can also get a lot of sort of lower quality matches, or matches that end up being quite one-sided. I think third or fourth round is probably my favorite stage of a slam, the highest competition.
I went quarter final day. Because
Pliskova Stevens is tomorrow, of course. That's one that
I
look forward to. Nori pair, that will be a fun one if Benoit can get up for it. I think this French crowd, especially in qualifying, we saw it motivate a lot of players. Luca Pouille, of course, being the most prime example of playing very, very poorly this season, and then just really coming alive once he got in front of this French crowd, beating Machac, beating Rodionov, who of course now he gets to play again.
Yeah. As Fields is Arthur as Fields Davidovich Fokina, is that tomorrow?
Oh yes, that's going to be a great one.
Yeah, that'll be
I expect it just screams 5-setter to me. So I'm really excited for that one as well.
5-setter and at least one or two, both players rolling about in the clay at one point.
Yes. Auger Aliassime Fognini, I think maybe has potential as well with Felix sort of struggling at points during this clay season. Fognini, we saw him get up for it in Rome. I think maybe he can motivate himself again.
He's pretty well liked in Paris, isn't he? Fognini, he's pretty well liked.
I think so, no?
Yeah, just because I think he's very much dependent on the crowd, isn't he? As
Svitolina will be interesting as well, I think, against Trevisan. Trevisan, of course, coming off an injury, but she has everything at stake here. Like Martina Trevisan, if she loses this match, I think she falls out of the top 80.
Yeah, because of the points from the semi-final last year, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, she was basically defending almost 1,000 points across this 3-week stretch where she won Rabat and then made the semis at the French Open. So we'll see what she can summon there.
Yeah, and just mentioned some of the discussion we were having in the previous stream. Max is a regular contributor. Max is in Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Very nice.
So I think she is 9 hours behind us, just working out what she said earlier on. So it'll just be coming up to 11 o'clock where she is. Is that where you are, Jakub? Are you Slovakia, did you say?
So I'm from Slovakia, but I'm in Glasgow.
You're in Glasgow? I'm in Glasgow.
Oh, why are we not doing this from...
I know. Are you next door? Oh, brilliant.
Hello?
Is that where you moved to then? Is that what you were saying, where you moved today?
No, so I'm moving out of Glasgow. So I'm finishing uni, going to see my parents in California for a month, flying out tomorrow. After that, I'm going to Slovakia. And then I have to drop by here at some point in August. And then I think October, maybe I'll be back if I can get a job. We'll see.
Brilliant. Well, you've had good weather, haven't you? We've had really good weather the last
lovely. It's been lovely. Yeah. I was sweating today, lugging all of my stuff up and down the streets to the storage unit. So it's been very pretty outside. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's 2 people have told you that Scotland can be sunny. So we're being asked by Max, sorry. Don't mind asking, how close are you guys from the other talking tennis commentator, Nick? I mean, I know Nick. I've done a commentary with Nick. In fact, there was a commentary that the Badosa match actually got rained off. But Jakub, do you know Nick?
I don't think so. Nick, no. What's the last name? Maybe I've seen him
on
Twitter or don't think so.
He does the WTA round, rankings, power rankings.
Meanwhile, we have had Collins break back in the match at 2-2, but she is down love 30 now.
Good shout.
So we'll see if she can deal with this situation.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much, Jakub, for bringing us. No, it's a good one to do because as Ghost and hi again, Ghost and Max will know. Sometimes I can easily get distracted by talking about, Welsh singers or Iron Brew or I was actually going to ask you, Ghost. Iron Brew is great, isn't it? Ghost, I was going to ask you if you're still with us. What was it Mario said the last time about tennis? It was like, what was the thing that we were going to get printed on a T-shirt? I can't remember exactly. It was something like he's a fun tennis guy or something like that. And anyway, Mario's a good character as well. So yeah, all the Talking Tennis team is. Pegula has 3 break points again. That will be the third break of serve in the first 5 games. What do you put that down to? The fact that, is it just the returner, doing really well? Is the serves not doing well enough to make a first point impact? What do you think, Jakob?
Yeah, I mean, she misses this one long, but this has really been about sort of who can start dominating the rally, and both of them have sort of had more success doing that with their ground strokes rather than setting it up with the serve. They of course have had some nice serves in here, but both are very, very solid baseline players. So I think that's mainly it.
Yeah, no, I agree. As Collins now lining up a second serve, as Pegula steps in a little bit to try and
double fault,
just at the important part. And
under the tape as well, if I saw that right. That was a rough sequencer.
Meek, I think we would call that. We would call that meek. Pegula sits down at 3-2 up, and we do a show at the end of every day of the French Open, and I'm just going to let our founder John just tell us a little bit about that.
Coming to you every evening, night, day, depending on where you are in the world, will be The Last Ball Drops. This will be a show on Talking Tennis as soon as that ball drops on the last match of the day, morning, afternoon, evening or night at Roland Garros, probably on Philippe Chatrier. We will go live with a review of the day's play. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. That way, as soon as we go live, you'll get the notification, you can come and join us, and you'll get to hear the thoughts of people such as Mario, Damien, Jack, Nick, many more, maybe even me from time to time. You know the drill. Make sure you subscribe. See you soon.
Thanks once again, John, and Pegula just loading up now as she leads 3-2. It seems like this. Oh, was that a winner by Danielle Collins? Did you see that, Jakob?
Oh my God!
Forehand return by Collins.
What a hit! Yeah, that's just what she possesses. That's just what she can unleash.
Yeah. Well, that's it. She's got that in her locker, and I love the way she just hits and then just starts walking to the other side of the court, ready for the next return. And Pegula's served pretty well there. Her first serve. She knows that she's under pressure here from a good returner, a solid returner. And we could.
What a return again!
Deep. That's deep. Collins forehand cross court hits the top of the net, slows the ball down a bit, but a slice by Pegula goes long. She's now under 30. Pressure. And it's love 30.
Yeah, that's what it is. Just first strike, and they both set it up better from the return than they do from the serve. That's just what it is here. So I think we'll see a lot more breaks in this match for sure. Yeah,
and the court's still not filling up too much just yet. It might be. Is the all French affair still on the go? I wonder.
So Kazan Moutet, I have it on the second screen here, and they are just. I think they're about to finish. Moutet just set up a match point here. Or he's about to maybe. Yeah, sorry, 30 all.
Quentin Moutet will be, if he does win that, will be we'll play Rublev, who won earlier on. As Jakob quite rightly says, it is love 40 on the Pegula serve. This one's going to just swing from one to the other, isn't it?
Most likely. Good serve here by Pegula. And return goes wide, so she gets one back. Moutet, by the way, he has. I don't know if you've seen him much since his injury, but his right hand still isn't right, so he cannot hit his usual two-handers. So all his backhands are either runarounds, into the forehand, slices, or one-handed backhands. That's why it's so incredible
Yeah.
what he's doing here. He was torturing Cazot in those first 2 sets. I actually switched over to a different match because I thought it was about to be done.
Yeah.
Cazot does make it a bit longer though, so I think he finally started to focus in on hitting that backhand over and over and over again.
He's some guy. I do enjoy watching his matches. Yeah, there's just some players that you get on tour that you just go, I'm going to watch that just because anything could happen. As Pegula hits one deep into the just court, and a forehand cross court by Pegula, and it's like what a winner by Danielle Collins. And it's another break. So what we had 4 breaks of serve in the first 6 games. The players, sharing momentum, exchanging. Where this game is going to go, and maybe not. Maybe stand corrected a little bit. Pegula, Collins looks like she's came here to play. She's not going to surrender.
She's into it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. She's dialed in, and yeah, maybe not as easy or as comfortable as I maybe thought pre-match. As Collins now with the ball in hand. She could really win if she can get her serve on. Get a lot of free points. That could be a big plus for her.
Yeah, I mean, whichever of these players can start holding regularly, they will have the very clear advantage in this, because it's been almost all breaks. But she starts with a double fault here, which is a great.
I thought that one looked like it just caught the inside corner of the box, but not the obviously no technology here, Jakob. Of course.
Yeah, no. I saw a horrible foot fault called against Camila Giorgi when she played Alize Cornet earlier today, and that was just like she wasn't anywhere. Like, of course she's near the line as you always are, but she shifts her foot but doesn't cross the line at all. And
how did she take that? Was she,
I mean, surprisingly calm. I mean, it was during a good time for her. She held the point after, so it didn't end up being super consequential.
Yeah.
But yeah, still very, very interesting that we can't really review these situations at all when it comes to foot faults.
I assume when the ATP have announced the fact that every event will be in 2025 will be electronic line called, but they haven't. Obviously, that's not been taken into account for the slams because it's not an ATP run event.
Which for me, the electronic line calling, I'm not that sure about. For me, it should be a hybrid system. I think you always need to have crews of line judges ready to go. So I think you should have maybe center court, have electronic line judging, and then have the line judges on the outside court. Because I mean, malfunctions, anything can happen at these events, especially at these smaller events where I think it's going to be a pretty big financial burden for them as well. Yeah, to acquire all of that technology for all of their courts, for all of their courts. So we'll see.
I wonder if the ATP have committed to, and I might have missed it in the press release, but have the ATP committed to help the events fund any of this?
Not that I've seen, but we'll see what the situation is once it comes around.
Yeah.
As Ghosty calling this a class story, which is quite true in this matchup. If we sort of take their in how much money they were raised, I guess, and stuff.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I get it now. Ghost can be quite. I do like his contributions. KC, hello. Welcome to the stream. Please do join in with whatever you want to speak about. I don't know if anyone else had been there, and we'll maybe just need to ask Mario himself, in terms of what he was. But it was a great. He came up with a great saying, something about loving tennis. I can't remember it. It couldn't have been that great if I can't remember it. So we've got another break point here. Talk us through this one then, Jakob.
Yeah. So here we go. Collins with the serve. That looked kind of long to me, but here we are in this rally. Collins misses it middle of the net after 6-7 shots or whatever that was. Yeah. So Pegula
another break of serve
once again.
And you get to the stage now that Pegula has been a breakup. on what now 3
Number of
occasions,
times.
but as I say, a break of serve doesn't really matter unless you can consolidate it, and that's where she's finding it hard to basically, best make it worthwhile. Any other results that we can chat about from earlier on today? Anything else that caught your eye? We were talking in the stream earlier that the Sakura result really, for me, wasn't really as much of a shock as I'd actually thought. So thoughts on that?
I mean, that was everybody's upset pick for the day. In the betting, they were even. So to me, it didn't seem like an upset at all. I think quality-wise, the match delivered. I was very happy with it from what I saw of it.
Yeah.
As far as other results I can sort of see here, Nuno Borges played an absolutely epic 5-setter against John Isner, winning 11-9 in the 5th set tiebreaker, which was wild. Isner, who hasn't played since Houston, who hasn't won since he made the Dallas final, coming in here and actually playing decently, which I wasn't really expecting. Borges had a quite disappointing clay season, as I think for what the expectations maybe were for him. He is, of course, a very good hardcore player as well. But yeah, very glad to see Nuno get it. And we just seen Corentin Moutet complete the win.
Yeah,
he does like a film celebration.
Yes.
Not sure what that is.
Yes.
But yeah,
okay.
sure. He is box office. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
if anybody can do that, it's him.
It'll be a vocal one from the two of them against Rublev. Whoever maybe isn't winning or things are going their way, I'm sure they'll be letting others know that they're not happy about proceeding. So fair play. Corentin Moutet meets Rublev in round 2. As Danielle Collins, that one definitely looked long. She was love 15 up in the Pegula serve, but she's handed Pegula back point 2, and it's 15 all. What else have we got from today? Matteo Arnaldi.
Arnaldi, yeah, I didn't really see him. To me, I thought the matchup was a bit more even. Arnaldi was a pretty solid favorite with the bookies, and I think most people were picking him. So yeah, delivered. But he really is at the same level as Galan when it comes to clay court play, at the very least, like top 80 play level for sure.
Yeah, and so we also have Camilla with us here. She's saying hi everyone. So hello, Camilla.
Hello.
Pegula 30-15 up might actually stop the run of breaks. I might be speaking a bit early, but 30-15 up on her serve. I shall be looking for a first serve here just to try and well, there you go. That's what I'm noticing. Jakob, is there's not a lot of first serves going in. I wonder if we can find out. I'm going to try and see if I can find out the statage on that one.
I might just pull up those stats as well. But she gets it to 40-15, so she has a prime opportunity here now.
Danielle Collins couldn't find any kind of traction on the second serve and goes long. I think she's rightly angry and disappointed at herself for that one. It was a makeable shot as Pegula again tries to go down the tee, again goes long, but this will be a big hold and put one game away from set 1. Second serve, sliced down the tee, exchanging ground strokes up the middle of the court. Collins goes cross court with a forehand, then loops another forehand. Pegula jumps onto it, sliced back by Collins, another forehand cross court deep by Collins, and Pegula can only go into the net. Again, showing some character. Danielle Collins could have easily just said, have it, but well played.
Good way to take control of that rally for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, you're right. She was intelligent play,
And her longest rally so far, 12 shots.
Yeah, and she intelligent play by doing that looping backhand just to slow it down a little bit. So yeah, she obviously it's experience that does with that. It's Pegula finally gets a first serve in, but Collins, another winner, forehand down the line, and that's why maybe Pegula has been going all over the place with her first serve, because she knows that that's what Danielle Collins can do.
We have seen a pretty decent serve percentage though. They're both around 60%.
Right. Okay. Right.
So maybe it's sort of like those bigger points. They're not really getting those first serves in, but even when they are, Collins can just do that. So
yeah.
It's tough to know what to do for Pegula here.
Yeah. Well, Pegula gets another one in, and I think that strategy. Well, there we go. We've got another break point. Am I right in saying that the longer the rally goes on, that Danielle Collins is coming out the better player?
I think so. I mean, like if she can establish herself in the middle and dictate from there, that's her bag, and she has delivered on that.
Yeah. So break point again for Danielle Collins. I think this will be 5 in a row. I might be wrong, but a good first serve, and it's netted by Danielle Collins. Decent serve in there just when it mattered by Jessica Pegula, and we're on juice. And so we will go to the juice with first serve. Let's have a look here, see if there's anything else that stands out. Did you watch the Camila Georgia match then? So I take it was a fairly solid performance, decent win.
Wide from Collins here on the backhand, and Pegula gets the advantage again. I only saw the last 3-4 games maybe. Sort of that final Georgie run where Cornet went up 4-2 in the second. So as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Georgie just shut it down. Cornet really, I don't know if she ran out of gas, but just wasn't really in those last 4 games, which was a bit, not upsetting to see, but a bit puzzling for sure.
So tell me, Jakob, then, Sebastian Offner beating Maxime Cressy, was that as much of a shock to you at all?
Not at all.
Yeah.
That was fully expected. Offner got the best placement from, I think, any of the qualifiers. Cressy obviously was, I think, like winless on clay and winless even before clay. I don't think he had won since February. So Offner, who has been an absolute menace on the Challenger Tour this year, just reaching final after final after final, really didn't surprise me. And so Sepp Korda played a lot better than I thought he would against Mackenzie McDonald. So we'll see how that match shakes out. But I think Offner has a decent chance of upsetting Korda as well.
Good. No. As I say, I think when I saw the score, I agree. I just thought, that was, having had a glimpse, not at the Challenger Tour. I did think that would be Sebastian's. We're on advantage, Pegula, and it's 4-3 in the first set. And as she serves wide, Collins again match, but good drive by Pegula. The ball is then put out by Danielle Collins, and she stops the run of breaks of serve, and she takes a 5-3 lead. And Collins is now serving to stay in the first set. So we've still got on court right now. It looks like we've got Alexander Shevchenko and Oscar Otte. They're into the fourth set. What do you think of that one then, Jakob?
So Shevchenko had his breakout run in Bratislava last June, where he won the title. It was a very nice run. This year he sort of started to deliver, not just on clay. But before that, it was basically clay only. Outside of clay, the results were quite poor. But he won his first challenger on clay. Really sort of expecting to establish himself as a top 60, top 50 player at least. The game is definitely there. Otte was sort of out of form coming in, so I'm not surprised by this result at all. I was expecting Shevchenko to win.
Well, I mean, we're in the fourth set, but Oscar Otte is
he is up a break.
Sorry, not 7, but he's up a break in the fourth set. It's went 7-5 Shevchenko, 6-4 Otte, 6-1 Shevchenko, and we're now 3-4 with the German with the ball on his racket. As Danielle Collins serving now at love 15 down, she's just put a first serve long. Some people in the crowd, I don't know if you're seeing the same as me.
Yeah. So
it's been a long day for some. It's been a long day for some. So what is this?
Though, love 15, 3-5 down. That this is a big point for Collins. Good second serve, nice kick. Pegula puts it right into the middle of the net.
Although I think Pegula, Jessica, she would have thought she could have, she had a chance there. I mean, I know it was a kicking one. I know it was going above her, but I think she'll be disappointed with that. I think the space was there in the court. She was looking to go down the line, of course, and she just couldn't see it over the net. Good first serve, good return +1. Well
brilliant
played, Danielle
from
Collins.
That was a tough return to get back, and she she really managed to put it wide for Pegula, who was on the reach, couldn't do anything with that ball anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. The Pegula did, she surely would have thought with her return that she's winning the point there. But yeah, great cross court forehand by Collins, who now serves at 30-15. First serve in again. Goes out wide, goes down the line. Pegula can only hit the net. 2 game points now for Collins to cut the gap to just 1. What are they saying in the chat, the guys? Ghost, what are they all talking about then? So Kathy, you possibly know John. He was a former commentator at GTL. Not talking much. John Silk. Yes, John Silk. I wonder if John will be peering in somewhere, knowing that he's getting spoken about. I'm sure we'll hear from him at some point. So yeah, hi Kathy, and yeah, it is indeed John Silk. Second serve, Collins. This is a big game to hold, isn't it, Jakob?
Absolutely huge. Pegula with the return winner.
What a return!
Oh,
I was asking for it. The second serve. Yeah, I think it made it. I think we're going on. She's still got the ball in her hand, and she was 40-30 up. But I know the scoreboard hasn't changed.
Okay, yeah, because she didn't move at first, so that's why I was confused. Because Pegula started crossing over, and Collins just stayed in the.
I've noticed
that was a bit weird.
I've noticed a lot of the boxes are playing behind like the server on the telly right now, like Danielle Collins, are like where the camera is. Because a lot of the time in the Rublev and the JR match, they were turning around and it was as if they were shouting at the camera. But, I think a lot of the players' boxes are sitting there. So I think maybe that's what she was doing with the serve. Because the serve for the Pegula return, she does close it out and she does cut the gap. It's 4-5. But for that serve, it was way short. And it was just, Pegula just ate it up and put it away. So Pegula will come out and serve for the first set, as just in the other match, Oscar Otta is now serving for the fourth set. So, I know you thought Shevchenko would come through that, but it's not done yet.
Yeah, not done yet. Did well to cut it down to 4-5. Yes, Kathy, I do the Cracked Rackets podcast about the challengers. Damian obviously being the main talent, I think, like knowledge-wise, he is
not at all
ahead of me. He is like a tennis encyclopedia. It is insane.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
I remember, like on that level, maybe I remember matches that I've seen live, but he remembers everything. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, this is not to denigrate your obvious talent, but I follow Damien as well on Twitter, and some of the somebody will say something on Twitter, and he'll be like you say, he'll be going, what was it the other day he was talking about? I'm like, how does this guy know that? I think it was to do with. Oh, the lucky loser. It was like, lucky loser. I don't know if you saw the tweet. He was talking about
no,
how it's to stop people who get in the final round of qualifying, just chucking the game and still making it into the main draw. And he knew exactly what event, who it was, who basically the reason that rule came in.
Ooh.
And it was like 2005 for the Wimbledon qualifiers. And Damien was just straight away on Twitter going, "Oh, it's because of this guy." And I'm like, how does this guy know this? Do you know what I mean? So
that's I didn't know the origins of how we ended up with this system where we sort of pick out of the top 5 randomly.
Yeah, but as I say, fair play. I honour that kind of tennis knowledge and strive to try and find it one day. As
big winner on the swing volley from Pegula down the middle. Collins still couldn't reach it. It was against her movement. 30 love up now, 5-4 up.
Yeah, is it just me? Has this been a really quick first set? I'm just checking. No, actually, it's not. 47 minutes. It's the match time says.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely, yeah. Come on, I love that. A good first serve. Collins can only go long, and it's 3 set points. I was going to say to the American. Of course, they are both from the United States. So 3 set points. It's been a slog for both players. Let's see what happens as first serve in. Collins goes for the big return, can only net, and 6-4. Do you want to sum up just Jakob, that first set? It was topsy turvy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean lots of breaks back and forth. Then it sort of stabilized towards the end. Pegula, I'm really impressed with how she sort of dealt with this last game. And I think that's what really sort of separates her from Collins at the moment, is that she can really, really focus in on these moments and just take charge. And that's what was the key here in the end. But tight, I think Collins can still definitely get back into this match. If she doesn't get down on herself after this, she shouldn't. She played some great tennis. So I think if she keeps on swinging, it might very well come.
Yeah, and I think the key thing for me is both our predictions are still going.
Still alive, yes.
Yeah. So you can still win. I can still get mine as well. Tell me, Jakob, then, my accent, I was worried that you would not understand because I speak very Glaswegian and very fast. But, as somebody who lives here, I take it you don't find too much difficulty in understanding what I say.
No. I mean, I think yours is very manageable. It's obviously not at the levels of Edinburgh. Edinburgh is like basically English. Everybody can understand it.
Yeah.
In Glasgow, for the first year or so, it was quite a struggle.
Right.
Just like people in public, even nowadays, sometimes. I used to work at a COVID vaccine center as just like directing the people through the thing. And there would be so many people. I worked in Easter House. I worked in Barmalloch. Yeah. And so many people would come in and I would just not understand them at all, a word. So I think yours is very, very manageable.
Well, I appreciate that. I've been told that I do speak very quickly, and I have been trying to slow it down. And I think Ghost agrees with me. He says that your Glaswegian is much easier for him to understand, and I concur. So
thank you very much.
You got any stats from the first set there, Jakob? Any interesting stats that you managed to mine out of the WAT sites or wherever you're getting your stats from?
I mean, quite interesting. Pegula won 12 of 14 second return points, which was not. Collins was quite solid in that as well, 8 for 11, but 86% on second return points is really key. And we sort of have this big gulf between the first and second points, first and second serve points on return here. Outside of that, it was sort of 9 winners, 9 unforced errors, Pegula. 9 winners, 13 errors for Collins. So quite tight. Not that much between them in this match, I think.
Yeah. So I mean, if Jessica Pegula does come through this one as expected, I think she had a quarter-final run and lost to Swiatek last year. We spoke about other players, Jakob, but I mean, what's realistically Pegula, who I think she's won the 4th most matches. I think only Swiatek, Sabalenka, and Rybakina have won more matches this year than her. So how far can Pegula go in this year's French Open?
This is a great question. As long as I pull up my draw and see where I actually
put you in the spot. Apologies. I should have given you the heads up.
But let me see, because who does the winner of this match have in the second round even?
Now you've put me in it because I had the French.
It is so the winner of this plays Georgie and then Mertens or Bogdan.
Right.
Potential.
Tough.
I mean,
tough. No matter who goes through.
Georgie can be tough because on her day she can win essentially any match. But I think that Pegula will get through that one. Then it's Mertens or I have Bogdan here, but it could also be, who else is there? McNally is the other one in that matchup. I think she comes through that. And in the quarterfinal, round of 16 could be Samsonova, Mayar Sherif. I see a lot of people have coming through. Potapova dominated today against Townsend. Could still be Pavlyuchenkova potentially if she gets on a run here.
Yeah.
So I think maybe quarters, maybe semis. We'll see.
Yeah.
I did have Begu in my picks coming out of that semifinal, and I think I had Pegula originally maybe losing to Sherif. Who did I have her lose to? Can't remember. But yeah, if she gets through this match, I think that she could definitely go on a run.
Yeah. No, I mean she's a dangerous player. Do you think she should have won a slam by now, Pegula? I mean, I know she's really only emerged over the last 18 months, but she's always there or thereabouts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that shocked that she hasn't won a slam. The fact that she's even at this top level after being, I mean, all due respect, a mediocre player for such a long time, for so many years, you would just see her names pop up in draws over and over again, and no real serious runs. The fact that she's at this level is quite impressive to me in the first place. Could she maybe take advantage of a weaker draw at some point and get a slam? It's possible.
Yeah,
but I don't really have expectations set at slam winner for
okay.
Pegula.
So you don't think she's got a slam in her then, no, for her career?
Not if everybody else is showing up.
Right.
Like
and she,
in this era of Sabalenka, Rybakina, Świątek, it's tough to see.
Yeah. That's it. It seems to be there's always an emerging talent now coming that are maybe going ahead of her in the picking line. So but just on that, just the last point of the last game, Pegula has broken the serve early in the second to take full control of this match. The last point there, Collins had dominated the point, set it up beautifully. She was at the net with a bouncing ball, and she's basically, Pegula just picked exactly where she was going, guessed it, and managed to smash a cross-court winner across Collins to break serve. So 1-0 with Pegula and with the ball in hand.
Collins sets the rhythm though, sets the right away backhand winner, beautiful off of the return off of the second serve, love 15. By the way, on Shevchenko, Shevchenko has won the last 3 games. He's 6-5 up now in that 4th set. Otte seemed to stay in the match, love 15 down.
Wow, turn around in a half that, and that shows a bit of resolve. You know, could easily just let that go to the 5th set and try to battle out there, but he wanted to win it fairly early. Just speaking of Collins, as in Danielle Collins, I'm never one to let any compliment of myself go without, recognizing it. I think I'm being called the Colin Farrell of talking tennis. So I will make sure that John basically refers to me as the Colin Farrell, because I'm pretty sure Colin Farrell is a good-looking chap. So thank you for that.
Now you have to set the booking fee accordingly, like Colin Farrell.
Exactly. And if I can do half as good a job as Colin Farrell's done in his career, then I'll have not done too badly. As I'll let Jakob take Max's question, which I'll pull up on the screen. Jakob.
Jenny Bouchard. I mean, a supremely talented player who I hope that she has another sort of string of results in her, that she could be like a relevant force again. But ultimately, I think maybe in my tennis watching life since like 2011, 2012, maybe one of the most wasted talents in that time period, I think.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think she just kind of she changes her, what's the word I'm looking for? Like in terms of like her caring about tennis, it's just that I don't think she's really that fussed. Do you? Like, I mean, I think she had a chance at one point to make a name for herself in tennis, and like she went down a different route, and now she was like, if I can play the odd tennis tournament and do half decent, that'll do me. But maybe I'm wrong.
We'll see. I mean, it can always change. People's priorities change as they age. So we might see that come into play at some point. But I wouldn't depend on it.
Yeah. And Max, Colin Farrell film, the most recent one I watched, that Banshees of Inisherin, really good film.
I meant to watch that and I haven't seen it still.
Get it watched. I In Bruges is a favourite of mine. Like I love it. It's like one of my favourite ever films, In Bruges. So it's the same guys who made Banshees, and it was unreal. It's so good. It should have won the Oscar for me, because I tried to watch that one that did win the Oscar, and didn't get it at all. That Everything Anywhere All the Time or something like that. I can't understand how that had won the Oscar.
I like that movie a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. It was like
very unique.
Definitely a film unlike that you haven't seen before. Of course, I didn't see Banshees,
Yeah.
So
we'll get it watched tonight.
Yeah.
After the last ball drop, you can watch it tonight. And next time we chat, we can talk about it. As Collins breaks straight back on the Pegula serve, I think to my last count, that's either an 8th or 9th.
Love 30
break
down
of serve.
though. Misses the serve +1 badly into the net.
Yeah.
So
she's getting frustrated.
She
you can tell.
seems to be getting frustrated. Yeah, as you say.
Yeah.
Just struggling to keep serve here, which is tough for her because she really is delivering on those returns. She really is slapping that ball around off of those returns. We've seen some great shots from her today. So hopefully she can pull it together. 15-30 now.
Yeah, as Pegula goes long. So you've got the stats in front of you. Tell me how many breaks of serve are we on now? Then is this the 8th or 9th so far? Because we've played 12 games.
So on breaks of serve, I think we've had 7.
7. Okay, so more than half of the games have been breaks of serve.
So far.
Guys,
we might be headed for another one. 15-30 second serve for Collins.
As you mentioned, though, a lot more first serves going in than we actually thought. So Shevchenko goes into a tiebreak for the match, according to Jane. That would have been a good one as well. As Danielle Collins sets up the point, she drives a drive volley again. Pegula, no, she didn't get there, so she's now 30-all. I always find that Danielle Collins seems to be angry with a tennis ball. And
look, an angry Danielle Collins is not somebody you want to cross. I tried to interview her, and I did interview her in Newport Beach in 2018. Right. Which I was very excited about it. She was not excited to be there. I think she was quite tired after her match and just wanted to get out of there.
She just won or lost?
Just win, but I think she just wanted to get out of there at that point because it was kind of late, and I was the only person that requested her. So it ended up being a 2.5 minute interview, and I let her go quickly that time.
Can you remember, Jakob, what you asked her? No, just how you feeling? How did you win, or what?
Can't remember. I tried to ask her about playing college and stuff and how it impacted her play now, and she sort of gave quite relatively short answers. She didn't really want to be there, but she when she does want to be in a press conference, she's great. So you just have to try in these situations.
Yeah, I interview people as part of my day job every day, and you can always tell when somebody doesn't want to be there by the one-word answers that you're given. So I feel your pain, mate. I feel your pain. As we go to it's 40-30 Collins now. This will be the first hold to serve for a long time, I believe. Oh well, no, she did make it 5-4 in the last set. But yeah, it'll be good to basically get this serve and take a wee small lead into. It's better than chasing, isn't it?
Oh, backhand winner for Pegula to take it to deuce. This is going to be a tough hold. We'll see.
So Jane kindly updating us live that Shevchenko is 4-1 up in the tiebreak. 4-2 now. Yeah.
Just swapped the sides there.
As Ghost regales the rest of the chat with pretty much the whole plot of In Bruges. Leave a bit out, Ghost, just for those people who maybe haven't seen it. So
I haven't seen In Bruges. I think the last thing that I have seen Colin Farrell in was The Batman, where he has all of that incredible prosthetic makeup, and he is in the movie for a quite amount of time, quite short amount of time, but huge impact for those.
I didn't know it was him.
Low minutes.
I went to the cinema to see that, and then I was having a look at IMDb when I got home, and it was talking about Colin Farrell, and I'm like, how is Colin Farrell in this film? When was he in it? And it turns out he was the Penguin.
Yeah. I mean, of course, good amount of it was filmed in Glasgow, so that was exciting to see.
Yeah.
That final scene being in the necropolis, and they were also filming a Batgirl movie that got cancelled altogether in the end. Right around that time.
yeah. As Collins saves a break point with she pushed Pegula wide with a looked out to me, but a drive volley wins the point to save the break point. Surprised that one wasn't looked at, but I know they've continued to play the point.
Shevchenko wins 7-5, 4-6, 6-1, 7-6.
Good result, Alexander Shevchenko. We were speaking earlier on about Shevchenko, and I spoke about him. I think it was Madrid. He was against. He was, he was set up on Danielle Medvedev. Who does Shevchenko? I'll pull up the draw. Who does he have next?
I've not checked, to be honest.
I'll go and get it and see if we can. I need to stop.
Collins down a break point here. Advantage Pegula.
Singles draw.
Gets the first serve and Pegula returns. She goes for the backhand and it just hits the tape and Pegula gets the break again. 2-1.
2-1, and Pegula will be relieved that she managed to, put the fact that she'd lost after being a breakup. She'd lost, and Alexander Shevchenko will be playing Musetti in the next match. That'll be a tasty one.
That's a good match. I think he'll push him.
Yeah. I got asked about Musetti in the last stream. My thoughts on Musetti and his career and his talent. I said, that there was a lot of hype about him when he was very young. I thought the fact that Alcaraz has done what he has done, it's maybe made people forget the fact that Musetti was a very talented youngster. He's still a very young man. I said I wasn't sure if he had a Grand Slam in him in his career, but again, it was very early. What's your thoughts on that, Jakob, on Musetti?
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that the talent is there. He was, I mean, arguably maybe as juniors even more hyped than Alcaraz was, which has been really interesting to see sort of that shift as it has happened over time. Yeah. Musetti, does he have a Grand Slam in him? Maybe down the line. It will take more development, and I think that like nowadays, like one-handers, it just holds you back.
Yeah. No, you're bang on the money there. I think, like I said, I didn't want to like put the death nail in his career coffin so early, but I just thought that there's been emerging talents that will probably, go ahead of him in the pecking order at each Grand Slam. Stuff like Holger Rune, and I think he's a better player. So, but yeah, we'll just need to wait and see. It's going to be an interesting transition as players begin to retire. Of course, Nadal speaking about his final year next year, and you've still got any people to keep an eye, any players in the ATP to keep an eye out coming from the Challenger Tour or anything like that.
So this year is the first year that we've had the accelerator spots in the Challengers, which has granted like the top juniors like a number of entries into it, which has been really interesting to see. So we have seen guys like Martin Landaluce come through. Yaroslav Demin has done a lot better than people expected, but the biggest one for sure has been Dino Prižmić of Croatia. Of course, still a very raw player. I think he's still 17 even. I'm not even sure if he's turned 18 yet. But really, really talented, really exciting. So watch out for him coming through in a year or two. Okay,
I'll be keeping an eye out. And, I actually heard yourself talking about the accelerator on one of your podcasts recently. And I thought it was, it was obviously some really good, interesting points you guys were making about the fact that they would do that. Now, as 30-15, Pegula, big hold needed here just to kind of really take control and kind of, make the Collins hopes fade that little bit more.
Ooh, was that a second serve she went for there?
I think
170 kilometers. That was really nice.
But she made that, right? Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. She made it 40-15. Collins couldn't return it well. So yeah, great opportunity to take on a big point like that, 30-15 up. Go for the big second serve. Why not?
Yeah. That's the old. Alexander Zverev's the first one that comes to mind, who just loves smashing a second serve, no matter
Kyrgios, the situation. Of course, as well.
Yeah, of course. I do miss Nick Kyrgios on tour. Again, I would argue, and people will argue against me, that he's probably one of the the box office draws that on the men's game, certainly just for the antics and entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole like abuse stuff. I don't want to get controversial, but not to say it's overblown, but to sort of take what he did, and if you compared it to somebody like Alexander Zverev and the allegations that were going on there, that was a much more serious situation. Whereas Kyrgios, it was like a one-time thing. He shoved his ex-girlfriend because she like stood in his way of him getting into the Uber or something like that. So to call him an abuser over that, I don't really think it's the same level as when you call somebody like Zverev an abuser.
No,
there are plenty of other things. There are plenty of other reasons to this, like Kyrgios. I mean, that whole thing with what's that person's name? Fergus Murphy.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Where I mean, he spat at him and like all of this stuff that is unacceptable.
Yeah. All right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he is definitely like an interesting force within tennis. That's not really something that you can argue. Like, is it positive? Is it negative? You can argue that, but he is certainly interesting.
I think he brings people to tennis. I think I've got friends who are solely football. As you can imagine, living in Glasgow, they are football. But particularly when Wimbledon comes on, and last year with Kyrgios, like they were all asking me stuff about Kyrgios and like who is this guy? Oh, this guy's quite fun to watch, kind of thing. Like this guy's a nutcase, it's especially I think a few of them had watched the Tsitsipas match at Wimbledon last year. With all the things that were going on there, and then just wanted to know exactly who is this guy? What's he all about? And that's people who don't really follow tennis at all. So I do think he does. He'll bring people to tennis, and obviously he had quite a big impact on Breakpoint as well. Like I think that the way in the Netflix drama, I think that people tried to they were trying to show the softer side of him, weren't they? So, yeah, he is certainly an interesting character.
I mean, like he is sort of like not an outsider, but like culturally he enjoys basketball a lot more. Like he's a lot more interested in other sports compared to tennis. So I guess that's a lot different, and that's why his demeanor is a lot different. But I mean, the truth is that like when you get him at an event like, I don't know, Washington or something, if you just get him at like a 500, he brings a lot of fans in. Like he will sell you a lot of tickets, and that's just the fact of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. As Pegula putting pressure again on the Collins serve. This one could be over soon. It is 3-1 Pegula in the second set. Already a set to the good, and she has 2 break points. This will be the insurance of a double break. This match has been littered with breaks of serve, so it doesn't mean the match is over. But as good first serve by Collins, strong by Collins again. Pegula's on the ground as she picks that one up. A half volley by Pegula cross court, and Danielle Collins can only find the net.
That was an interesting sequence where Collins, from being sort of deeper, instead of swinging for it, she sort of moonballs. Pegula steps into it, makes her play it early, and yeah, that's what Collins missed off of there. 4-1 lead, double break now.
Yeah, so 4-1 to Jessica Pegula, and so she will now be serving to go 5-1 up. So yeah, we're looking like a straight sets victory for Jessica Pegula, and there's not really been much fireworks so far from Danielle Collins, with a couple of decent returns. What can she do differently to try and salvage this match?
It's tough. I mean, I think that she will have to keep swinging for those returns and hope they start landing. Maybe hope that Pegula has some inconsistency on the serve and she gets a couple of looks on the second. But yeah, second set, double break, it's tough to see her turning this around without a complete collapse from Pegula. Yeah,
but as I said, there was there's been so many breaks of serve here. Pegula has struggled to hold serve as well. So is there a way back in if she gets this break early? The only problem with the fact that Danielle Collins is she doesn't seem to be holding serve either.
Yeah, that's been the real struggle, and I think that she has had opportunities and she's given herself chances with her ground strokes. Right away, she goes for a huge return, misses it wide by a good, 3 feet maybe, 2 feet. Yeah, so I think we'll see a lot of that. I think she'll be going for these returns.
Yeah, as a first serve down the tee, wild backhand by cross-court backhand. She's now just bashing the boys. She's just going for every single shot, isn't she?
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. I think we'll see a quick exit here. 30 left to go now.
Yeah, sometimes the players get that, don't they? They basically just swing for anything. I've seen it work though. I have seen it work. But yeah, it's been a tough. Ghost has mentioned this there. It has been a tough 2023 for Danielle Collins.
Second serve now for Pegula. Collins moonballs. Pegula goes inside out. Collins cross. Pegula cross. And Collins misses down the line. 40 left.
Just not happening. Just not happening. Just not her day at the office.
No.
And Pegula will be a point away from 5-1 in the second set.
12-3 in the last 15 points for Pegula here. She's really taking charge in the second set. Collins, as I said, she had her chances, but just with serve, she wasn't able to hold when she gave herself those opportunities with all of those breaks.
Yeah. Danielle Collins has been chasing most of the match, and that's I mentioned earlier on. I think when she was at 1-1, if she just got her nose in front there at that point, it's always good to be a front runner rather than a chaser. And the fact that she didn't manage to see out that service game to lead 2-1. Since then, it's just been a Jessica Pegula onslaught. Again, the court not filled too much as the night falls in Paris. Down the tee serve, it goes long, 5-1. We are a game away from the conclusion of this match. Jessica Pegula, number 3 seed. You've mentioned that you don't think she will go all the way or get near it, Jakob. And you've told us who you think in terms of Rybakina. I think Ostapenko we've spoke about as well. Is there anyone else that's out there on the women's side of the tour, that we've not spoke about? You spoke of Trevisan. Anyone else kicking about that you've got a wee fleeting thoughts for?
Well, I mean, Świątek is obviously, I think, the favorite still. I'm just sort of not really certain about what the condition is with the leg. Krejcikova will be an interesting fourth-round opponent for her if she gets there. As Pegula goes 15 love up here. Beautiful backhand down the line winner.
Lovely. Yeah, she's got her timing, Pegula. I think she's had a sticky start maybe, but certainly right now she's got her timing, she's got her depth on point at the moment, and she's compared to the point count that you mentioned a minute ago, I think it was 12-3. She's just dominating most points. I wouldn't be surprised if she actually forced the break here to win the match.
That was a return unforced error there from Pegula. Go 15-all. And long again, 30-15.
Two decent serves from Danielle Collins, and let's just have a look at how long have we been playing this second set. It can't have been long. So we had 48 minutes in the first set, I think. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. As Danielle Collins drives one into the back right of the court. Good return there by Collins. She's up to the net. She's just dinked one over the net and she sees it out. Lovely stuff. Touch. Delicate by Danielle Collins. That'll hopefully give her a bit of a boost there. But yeah, a lovely little just drop over the net and the ball stops dead. 40-15. We have been playing an hour and 17 minutes of this match. Yeah, I mean, I've got Pegula down at 35% first serves. That seems a bit strange. 35% first serve points won.
This was an interesting point.
Sorry, I was missing that. I was looking too busy at the stats. Sorry.
Yeah, Collins started with a nice serve out wide, and then I don't know if it was an error or why she didn't go for that last ball. I don't have the commentary or like the sounds on. But yeah, 40-30 now. She has another game point to try and extend this match.
And it'll be a second serve.
Yeah,
She flips the top of the
error
net.
as it popped up off of the tape. Long second serve. Collins, by the way, is one of these players who gets the ball from the ball kid for a second serve, which I never really liked double fault here.
Yeah, she goes straight into the net. Look at her face. She's just so angry at herself.
Yeah.
So we're at just Pegula 2 points away from round 2. And I think this will be one that Danielle Collins will want to forget in a hurry. She serves, first serve here. Oh, she catches. Nice. That's a great serve. Lovely serve there. Had a lovely swing on it there. Yeah, I was obviously watching it at the telly right behind that, and it just swung into the court last minute, and showing some steel here. Many players could have, just conceded this, but she's a fighter, Danielle Collins, and
she most certainly is.
And another down the tee serve. Oh, this one, great return by Pegula. It finds the corner, but the second return is into the net. And we are to 2-5 now. And Pegula at the changeover will be serving for the match. Just before we do this, just to remind you guys of what you can do if you want to share, subscribe to Talking Tennis. Here's a quick promo.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
And we are already at 30 love, although Danielle Collins is basically...
Yeah, she actually checked the mark and it did look long to me, so I think we'll get a second serve here maybe.
Oh, I think Pegula just said, fine, fair enough.
Second serve.
So we're only at 15 love, so apologies. And so we're at 15 love. Pegula, second serve. Hawkeye, I think, telling us that it was actually
way out
long. Yeah. And that looked long as well, but the rally goes on, and Collins hits the tape. 30 love now, and 2 points away again from the match. So what do you think Collins will take away and work on, or will she just kind of put this one behind her? I don't think she's got any kind of big hopes for the grass season.
No. I mean, I think for her it really is about getting right for the US Open, preparing for that entire series, and then just trying to deliver where she feels most comfortable, I think. Yeah.
As Pegula sets up 3 match points, Collins went long with a massive wild swipe backhand. And so here goes Pegula. She tries to serve down the tee. She's loving that serve, but it has just gone wide and long. So second serve for the match. This time the ball's on court. Good return by Collins, and it goes long by Pegula. Yeah, she likes that one, doesn't she? The forehand down the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great option to have. I enjoyed it as a lefty out of the deuce court when I did get
Are you
the
left-handed? Are
opportunity.
you a lefty?
Yes, yeah. In tennis, I write with my right hand, but for some reason it was just more natural for me to play with my left.
Oh, what
As
a winner by
Pegula seals
Pegula.
it,
So
winner
she
down the line after a really, like, I mean, that was solid as a return from Collins. But yeah, Pegula just too good for Collins today, too consistent on the serve, which Collins couldn't find at any point. As I said, she made those opportunities for herself, but Pegula's consistency just delivers in the end.
Yeah, no, she'll be happy with that one. Got the job done in just under 2 hours. What was it? Sorry, just under an hour and a half, an hour and 23. She'll be happy to move into the second round because these Grand Slams can be a marathon, a slog. So she'll go and rest for a couple of days and move on to round 2. As mentioned before, on many occasions, we do have a talking tennis, basically live stream tonight, where they'll be chatting over the day's events. I've
Catch
just done
me on
a double
Tuesday.
shift. You've got Jakob on a Tuesday, and you can follow me at Tom Grant Journal. Jakob, if any social media channels you want to plug for yourself.
Sure, yeah, Twitter at Bobo Jakub. Follow me on there for whatever I put out there today.
Get following Jakob. Knowledge only second to Damien. But thanks very much, guys. I'll catch you all. I'll certainly be tuning in to John and Co tonight. It's been a good shift here at Talking Tennis, 2 live streams done in a row. But yeah, thanks very much, Jakob. Thanks for your time. It's been really enjoyable.
Thanks for having me. It's been great fun.
Top man. Right, guys, Ghost, Camilla, Max, Casey, see you later on. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for everybody watching. I'll see you later. See you on Tuesday, guys.
Cheers.